The coffee pot's on, the welcome mats out. We know what RVing's all about.
Hi, I'm Dustn, Sutton RV. I'm here to take you on a walkthrough with the R12 Vengeance Touring Edition. Now these have the extra insulation packages on them. So the underbellies are wrapped and heated. And they also have 12 volt heating pads on the tanks. So that way when you're in transit, you don't have to run your propane to keep your tanks warm if it's cold out. Also, the underbelly here is heated, and if you look right here, you'll see that the framing is welded all the way down, not tacked. Also in the belly here, you're going to see that you have your power cord, your 2 tables for dining in the living room. Also, you're going to have your waterproof table for the back. Now, it comes in useful on your rear deck. Even though you have the awning back there, sometimes rain in Oregon doesn't always come straight down. So, one of the big changes they made in the 2015 and a half was they made it to where you could put 4 batteries here. And they had the reservoir for the hydraulic leveling system right here. They moved that in on top, over the top of the generator here. So now they've made it to where you have, on both sides, you actually have 2 spots for batteries. So all in all, you have 4 batteries you can put in here. Also, slam latch doors. You also are pre-wired for the ZAMP solar system on these. So you can always have a battery tender with you. You don't have to have a solar power panel mounted on the top, which can be really expensive. For power, you have a 5500 Awning. What's great about toy haulers, once again, they almost always come equipped with a generator and large tanks, and the other advantage is that you don't have to run this generator off of your propane. It runs off of your fuel tank for your fueling station. So you're running off gasoline and not your propane. So you can use your propane strictly for your heating. Also on this, you have the Rotaflex pin box. What that does is that controls chucking when you're driving. If you've ever hauled a 5th wheel, you'll see the value in that. Here's all your control systems for your water and all that. This is your spray port, so you can hose off your bikes out here. It's hot and cold, so you know if you had to shower in it and hose yourself off, it wouldn't be with freezing cold water. You also have your black tank flush. I don't know if you've ever had to wand the toilet in a trailer, but you'll see the value if you have. A lot of companies don't do this. Where a lot of the corners are made on this plastic tubing, they take and put joints here instead of curving it to make it weak, and really see the value in that if you've ever broke a pipe. Slam latch doors. So here we have the auto leveling system. Now with that, what that does is at the push of a button, or push of a couple buttons, sorry, it auto levels the whole unit, which it'll sit here. It takes about a minute. It'll sit there and it'll put up the ones that need to go up as it goes. Now, what a lot of people won't tell you and don't really know is that not only does it auto level, but when you drop it, it remembers the height you dropped it at. So it has a memory where it'll drop it back to that same height and that same spot for when it's time to hook back up. So instead of having to fidget with it and put it back at the same one, you just put it right back to the return, and it puts it right back where it needs to be. All the instructions you'll need are right here. So I don't know about you, but sometimes I don't remember everything when I get told the first time. So it helps to have a reference, and you'll have that right here with this. It's a good thing when they decide to put all of the returns on all your propane systems on this side of the coach. The value in that being is when you're sitting on that other side on a 110-degree day in the shade and you still feel like the sun's beating down on the back of your neck, look behind you to see if your return's not blowing on the back of your neck. Now these go with a 40-gallon fuel cell on them versus a 30-gallon, so you get 10 more gallons of fuel with these. It really is 10 gallons could be the difference between making and breaking whether or not you have electricity that night. So most of the time you got to buy a new hose when you buy a unit. Now here they include this Wastemaster hose, which you can close this valve and put it where you need to dump it. Now that's got to be hooked up obviously, but you can put this in the dump station before you open the valve on it, and you'll see when it starts blowing through clear, so you're not spilling anywhere. All right, another thing I want to point out is you got ram air vent systems on this. Now, what that does is it makes it to where when you're storing your vehicles back there, there's going to be gasoline in them. Sometimes overflow valves will kick on. You'll dump a little gas on the floor, what have you. There will be fumes from fuel back there. That makes it to where you have an airflow through the back constantly. And when you're driving down the road, you can either move them forward to make it ram the air in, or you can move backwards to make it to where it venturi's the air in. There's another one on the other side in the bottom corner, which makes it to where it gets air circulation from the top corner to the bottom corner in the back. It's great. Now on the back, I'd like to point out it's the spring assist door. This door without that spring assist is going to be really heavy and not going to be any fun to pull down or put back up. So, pre-wired for a backup cam on these. They didn't do that before. It really is nice having a backup cam on a fifth wheel this long. Another thing I'd like to point out is the rear awning on here. When you have this back porch down and that rear awning's out, it really is needed shade. They didn't do that on the previous models I had got of this. Now this is the 2015 and a half. They did do that. So, and this is also push button, so you don't have to get out and wind it out. Now on these awnings, there is a shock system on that. For a long time, people were misled and told that that was an auto dump system. Not true. Okay, that's basically suspension so that when the wind picks up, you have some sort of give in your awning instead of it just being solid and posted. And it's going to break that way if it gets too much. I've seen these awnings out in the wind whipping, and they get going. But if you didn't have that shock system on there, you go through a lot more awnings. You got your toy lock system. Now if you want to bring that camera down in here, you have all this cable comes out. Now this piece comes out, and you wrap that through your toys and back up in here, and then you put this padlock on there. And that keeps people from stealing your stuff. That way you can live in the area inside here at night and not have to worry about people stealing your stuff instead of having to put your toys back there. Another thing I'd like to point out, the outside mounts for your box crusher stereo. You got plug-ins. It's a pair of Bose speakers that go with this box crusher stereo, and they're made to mount outside and inside on the Touring Edition. So it's real easy hookup, and you can bring them in at night or when you're parking it so people don't steal those speakers. They're expensive, so you don't want them getting stolen. Another thing, Equiflex wet bolt system on there. And what that does, that disperses the tension on the leaf springs between all three of these axles, making for a much smoother ride. As we come inside, you're going to see these are really well laid out toy hauler. You don't see that a lot in toy haulers. There's very limited floor plans. You have outlets in the middle of your prep area, your counter space. You also have stainless sinks. Also, on this unit, you have 100% LED lighting, which means you're going to save energy, which means you're also not going to generate heat with your light. Very important. Also, your lights are going to last longer. However, expensive to replace, but it's well worth it. You know, you're going to spend a lot less in bulbs over the long run. Also, you have your max fan. It's all push button because the roof in here is, or the ceiling in here is very high. So you definitely, you know, don't want to be trying to get on a stool and reach up there to get to that. The other thing, you have in here, you have your microwave and you have your oven, and also the 3-burner stove. Also, proper wine storage. Also, another thing you're going to see, tons of counter space and residential fridge. This has a 1,000-watt inverter dedicated to just powering it, so that you can run your refrigerator off a 12-volt system. Also, with the bottom freezer like this, after owning a bottom freezer, I will never have a top freezer again. This unit comes with 3 air conditioning units. Reason being, so you have control of your temperature in every living area. In order to do that, they have to have a power management system. Now, what that does is that seamlessly shuts off your air conditioners as to when they're needed, so you don't have to manually do it, and you don't end up overloading that 50-amp power supply. Now, this is exclusive to just this unit, but it's kind of a nice addition for Mama. You know. All right. So in the bathroom, what you're going to see here is this is the first one I've seen of its kind that has this sink in it, and also the lit countertop. Very cool. It's adjustable light. So if you want it just to dim, you can have it there, or turn it up, have it nice and bright. Also, LED lights in here, brighten it the rest of the way up. What you're not going to see, well, you'll see because I'll have you check it out here. You look around in here and you only see this one little bit of storage. Now, that's what everyone says when they look at one of these. Then I point them out to this. Go ahead and step back in here and take a look. Now look back in there and then look to the right. I mean, that goes way back in there. That is cavernous. So I'm 6'3". I mean, plenty of headroom in here. Also, has a seat in here, which if you've been out riding all day, sometimes you're a little tired. You don't want to be bending over to do things, so it helps to be able to sit down while you're taking a shower. Another thing, last thing, is your bathroom. Porcelain toilet. Now into the bedroom area. Alright, so first of all, washer and dryer hookups are right up here. Okay. If you're not going to put a washer and dryer in it, it's also storage. Also, humongous closet here. Lots of room for your shoes. There's an LED strip in here and also the puck lighting. Also, just a ton of closet here. Also, one of the AC systems. Another thing, a lot of guys don't do this, and I used to be on a CPAP machine, and so I know how big those machines are. There's a spot right there for one, in case you need it. And if you don't, more storage. There's a place to set your drinks at night. Alright, also what we have in here is a king-size bed. And it's a full king-size bed, not an RV king. This really is a full king-size, and it's a Denver mattress, so you don't have to go out and buy a new mattress as soon as you get this. It really is a full king, and it's really comfortable. Also, windows on both sides of the bed. To some of us, that crosswind is really important. So, I like to point that out. That this, they really do think of everything in these. And I think Vengeance is one of the products that I think is ahead of its time. Another thing I'd like to point out is you got Ashley furniture in this. This is real residential furniture. So, I mean, this is comfortable stuff. You're not going to have to go out and buy new furniture. You are going to be able to lounge in here at nighttime or in the evenings. When you're all done riding, you're going to have a comfortable place to be. And that's really important to some of us. There's nothing worse than not having a comfortable seat in your RV. Another thing, I like to call this the doghouse. It's the loft. Now there's storage up there, and there's also TV outlets up there. So if you needed to have a TV up there, you could. The reason I call it the doghouse is because that's where I end up when I'm in the doghouse. So, moving on. Alright, another thing I'd like to point out is the storage in here. Now this is just your fuse box. You got a little bit of storage there, you got drawers here, and these are full extensions on the drawers too. I mean, also, both sides you have storage for your spices. Some people like to spice their food up a lot, some not so much. Put whatever you want there. Also, I mean, you got cupboards here, more drawers here, and all the drawers in here are all on ball bearing rollers. Alright, into the back area. We have a spot to hang your dirty riding gear. When you get done riding, what's the first thing you hear from the wife if you're all muddy? Don't track that inside. So in here you have, where you have your it's water, fuel, and oil resistant flooring. Where better to hang your dirty gear? Right here. Once again, the toy hauler is kind of thinking of everything, man. These guys are innovative. Once again, back to making the rear here a living area as well. What they've done is they gave you all the comforts like your TV, radio. These are those speakers I was telling you about for the Box Crusher stereo. This is the amplifier that runs it. It is a 12-volt stereo system, so it's like you'd have in your vehicle. They've upgraded this head unit on it, so it's all touch screen, it's all Bluetooth. I mean, more storage. More storage. Both sides. They've really gone the extra mile with this to think of the little things. Also, what you're not going to find, 5,000 pound tie downs on the floor there, anchored into the frame. I don't know who else is doing it, but if they aren't, they should. Also, your controls are all right here for the back living area. So you have your controls back here instead of all being up there, so you can be back here monitoring what's going on as you're doing it. Another thing for all the toy hauler people out there, up there on that motor, you're going to see what's it's a little braking system. Now, over time and over transporting these, what'll happen is that little switch will come down and it'll go into lock, and your bunks will quit working. Time and time again, people will go, you know, my bunks quit working, and I'll tell them, go in there, flip that switch, and it's all fixed. Also, the furniture in here, the dine-in area, you're gonna find these are a lot cushier, and they don't have that feeling like you're gonna slide off the front of them. A lot of the times I'll get into these, and not these in particular, but into toy haulers, and what I'll find is these chairs in particular, you'll feel like you're sliding off the front of them. These ones don't have that. These, for some reason, just make you feel more firmly planted. It's the little things. That easy, and it's a bed. I mean, really. Does it get any easier? Alright, so I'm going to show you how this back ramp system operates. I've already unlocked these, but these have a lock built into them as well. So you don't have to have a padlock put through there. But it also has a hole for a padlock if you want to do that as well. So, these I think are some of the best latching systems for these. Because what they do is when you do that, it sucks it up against there, making a tighter seal. Which I think is way better than the old bar system. You pull across and latch. Moving on. Now, back to that spring assist door on the back here. Makes it a lot easier to pull down. A lot easier to hold up too if you get any hang-ups. Rear gating system on these is very easy. Once you've worked your system and figured out how it works, it's as easy as that. Now the little locks for these are inside, but there's little locks in here that I screw down, and that fastens this to where it's not going anywhere. If you got little ones running around, it's pretty important. So the patios, when suspended by the cable, they're rated to hold 1,500 pounds. When they're on the ground and not being suspended by the cable and being used as a ramp, it's 3,000 pounds. So these are really sturdy and durable. You don't have to worry about it collapsing on you. The back door system on this, when you have the ramp down, I really do like. Nobody else is doing this, and I really do think everyone should be. Now, with this, it's also a screen door too. So we have the removable tinted material here that just Velcro's on. So it's not just a screen door in the back like most of them if you have the ramp down. So you don't have to put up the ramp to sleep at night. Once again, the Happy Jack system runs on 12 volt, but it's all push buttons, all right here with your controls. Also, rear awning. The other guys aren't going with the push button ones yet. They probably will be now, but it's nice having everything push button. The old ones you had to get out here and reel them out. Not the most convenient thing, but a lot nicer when you just push a button, right? The other thing is the rug that they include with this to lay out in here. Not a lot of people like the whole utilitarian look on the floor, having the tie downs right there visible. So they have a rug you can roll out in this also to make it feel more residential, more homey, warmer to the feet as well. If you got the little ones running around back there, they'll appreciate it. People, you know, they ask me why I like toy haulers. The reason I like toy haulers is because you're not confined to the inside of your RV. Especially with fifth wheels, you get the bed of your truck back, for one. For two, when you got this back gate open, it really involves you with outside. You're not just in or out of your RV. It's not so boxed in. It really is more involved. Also, you don't find any RVs that sleep as many as a toy hauler. So if you got a family and kids, your best times are going to be in a toy hauler. All right, Jamie, you got a stopwatch? Yeah. I want to show people just how quick and easy it is to put away the back gate on a toy hauler. Everybody says it's such a pain in the butt to have these rear decks. I disagree. I'm going to have Jamie time me. Jamie, you ready?
Yep.
All right, go. Not going to overhurry. Time.
20 seconds.
20 seconds, folks. Is it really that much of a pain in the butt? If you have any more questions about any of the toy haulers here at Sutton RV, I'd like to say that I'm well informed. If I don't know, I will find out for you. My name is Dustn Manley. Call and ask for me, or I'm at dustn@suttonrv.com. Email me anytime you want with any questions. I'd really like to be the guy to win your business if I can. Have a good day.
We can make your dreams come true in your very own